Hi guys, this is just a quick little video presentation designed to supplement the industry and sectionalism section that started out this particular goal. The objective for this is to determine economic and social issues that led to sectionalism and nationalism. And our central question is, what inventions were developed during this time and how did they impact American life and the economy? So by the mid-1800s, people were no longer totally self-sufficient. Jefferson's dream of every man having their own farm and being completely self-sufficient was gone. There is now specialization, and this is where people specialize in one part of a product. So one group of people makes one part of a finished product, another group of people makes the other part of a finished product, rather than making an entire whole of a product. So know what the term specialization means. The other term you need to know is capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system defined by production and distribution that is owned by an individual or a company. And basically what all of this amounts to, capitalism and specialization, the fact that people are dependent on products created in the American market, makes the standard of living for everyone rise. We also have some contributions from inventors. Charles Goodyear, for example, creates vulcanized rubber. This is huge because now we can have rubber tires, makes travel much more easy. We also have I.M. Singer invented sewing machines. You still see Singer sewing machines. And this, of course, speeds the production of clothes and garments. Samuel Morse invents the telegraph and also Morse code, which is the means of communication via telegraph, dots and dashes. In terms of agriculture, we begin to see people moving west. Now we see this is the Midwestern part of the nation. At the time, it was the far west. And especially railroads make this journey much easier for people. Out west, there's lots of available farmland that's available for people to farm. John Deere invents the steel plow, which is substantial in terms of farming because it really makes it much easier for people to break up hard ground. What jobs formerly done by people with hoes and picks can now be done by a horse and a steel plow. Also, Cyrus McCormick invents the mechanical reaper. Now we know this is the combine. And this makes harvesting crops much easier and more efficient. In industrial places, the workplace was also changing. We have the Lowell factory system. Francis Cabot Lowell invents the first modern factory, and this continues the development of industry, mostly in the North. We see a decline of skilled labor, jobs that were formerly done by skilled craftspeople. For example, if you needed to have new shoes for your horse, you would call a skilled person to form shoes, a farrier, to form shoes for your horse. There's less need for the skilled labor in these large factories. Anyone can operate these machines. Because anyone can operate the machines, we see vast numbers of immigrants, former farmers, go to the cities to work in these factories. Cities and industrial areas become larger as immigrants settle in the cities for jobs, and farmers come from failing farms nearby to work in the factories. Because of mass production, we see the cost of goods decrease and the supply of products increase. Working conditions in these industrial factories, however, are not the best, to say the least. These people, and they're mostly women, young women, sometimes children, are working extremely long days. They work 6 or 7 days a week, and the factories are known for their terrible conditions: poor lighting, poor ventilation, and unsafe working conditions, dangerous machines, no protection from the dangerous machines. This causes the formation of labor unions, groups of people who band together to advocate for themselves and for better rights. We start to see the nation's first strikes. Bad working conditions continue, and labor unions become more and more prevalent through the early 1900s. Immigration. Of course, the demand for work and unskilled labor is appealing for people looking for a new life. And we see lots of immigration in the mid-1800s through 1890. These are mostly Irish, okay, some German, but mostly people from Western Europe. And the immigrants settle in groups. Usually they kind of stick together. Some of them actually replace the working women at the mills because they will work for less. Low wages of immigrants cause problems with other workers, and this leads to the growth of nativism, that is, opposition to immigration. People who resent immigrants and favor native-born citizens. The Know Nothing Party is actually formed of nativists, and these were people who, when asked about their feelings about immigration, would reply that they knew nothing. So that's it for that short little presentation. I just wanted to kind of encapsulate some of the contributions that were made in the early 1800s and their effects on the economy and the United States.